Well, can he? He can.
Yes,
He's
he
gonna show you today. This is the Big Finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road. Hi, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Big Finish podcast. My name is Jamie Schreiner, and I'm here with my co-host,
Beckett Kenny.
and we have a very special guest today. Everybody, give it up for Riley Cosgrove.
Wow,
Hello.
Riley. Hello, how
Oh my
are you?
God.
How are you
I'm
doing
so
today?
good. How are you guys doing on this beautiful, sunny last Sunday of July?
Last Sunday of July, now that you're
Last
putting it in
one.
perspective.
Yeah, it's going
that's
fast.
It's the whole year. I feel like my whole life is going fast at this point.
Yeah.
Every year gets faster.
Yeah, it's
Every,
really
you know, that's
scary.
actually true.
No,
That's
it's
scientifically
100%
true
true.
because when you're a baby, like your perception is you're like, it's one day. So you're like, that's been my whole life. And so it's like, but then as you get older, like one day becomes such a small fraction of your life that like you perceive it as smaller and smaller. And, you know,
Smaller until you
and
die.
so your perception of time,
Sorry.
it becomes, it's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
I was like, given this super flirty, fun direction the conversation's already gone in, I would love to ask both of you, how are we feeling today? Are we flirty or furious?
I'm furious.
I'm furious. Oh no, I'm furious too. I'm
But-
furious. Do you know the podcast before we recorded is going to be a lost episode because of how mean I was to
You're so
somebody
furious.
who I was so furious. I'm a lot more flirty on this podcast
I
than I
can
was
be
on the
flirty
other.
if we need to turn it on.
I mean, I feel like if we have
What are
two
you furious
people,
about? What's the most?
Just-
everyone go around and say the thing they're most angry about. Okay.
I mean, I can't say what I'm furious about.
No,
but
you can.
No, I can't.
But
Literally can't. But
We're gonna have to
it's
cut
just-
this podcast.
It's just life stuff.
Okay.
It's also Sunday, so I have the Sunday scaries.
Oh, that's real.
And I have a sunburn on my back, and
Ow.
I'm officially at the like itchy part, and that's not fun. But it's not as bad.
You didn't
as
put on
it-
sunscreen.
I did, but I must have like.
I am gonna
Not
victim shame a
reapplied.
bit.
I must have just like not missed it because like this part of my back is fine. It's like the edges.
Ouchie.
My
Edges
back
on
is
the
like
edge of glory.
My back is like a sandwich where like the crust and the edges are burnt.
Owie.
But the inside, the middle is gooey and
Nice
delicious.
and gooey and warm, yeah.
Oh no.
So you're furious. I was gonna take one for the team. I can be flirty for everybody.
That's how you feel.
I do feel
You don't have to
flirty
take one of
today.
the. Hey, if you're furious, we can all just be furious. Okay, so what are you feeling flirtiest towards today, Jamie?
I feel flirty because this is like actually very lame, and I am really reading myself to filth with this one. But my friends from high school and I went to see Smash Mouth at the Pierogi Fest last night. Now featuring the new lead singer who is not anti-Semitic, because the guy I don't know if you heard, the original lead singer got kicked out of the band because he was so drunk that he was like yelling, I'm gonna fucking kill you at like all the people in the audience at this. He did a show in New York and was so drunk that he was like, being anti-Semitic and also cussing out.
Great
and
place
trying
to be
to fight.
anti-Semitic, by the way,
Yeah.
New York. Great place.
Yeah, famously very open to that. Just kidding, but most of America should not be open to that at all. And but yeah, I was able to go in good conscience because there's a new lead singer now. I think I don't remember his first name, but the guy's last name is Goody. And basically, it's just like, I know this is like gonna make me sound like a huge cunt. I don't know
Love
if
it.
I don't know if we're censored for saying the C word, but there's something about going to small town Indiana that just makes me go like, you know what? I'm actually doing pretty okay.
Jamie and Schreiner the Third. I went home like 3 weeks ago, and so I'm from Western Iowa. But then my parents, don't fucking roll your eyes. They have a lake house. Trust me, I'm poor. But it's in like Nebraska, South Dakota, and I look at these people there, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually not doing that bad in my life. Like it's fucking dire.
I have been wanting to like just rent a mansion in some like like really like cheap state, you know, and just like
Do
be,
it.
like go and like live for like a week and work from home and then just be like wow, my power, the $50,000 I make a year now is a million here.
You'll be the big
and
baller at Applebee's.
I'll just be like taking private jets.
You're gonna
everywhere.
run into that Red Robin, and you're gonna run that Red Robin.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get to be your finest table at their local McDonald's.
But I mean, the last thing I do want to say about this is it was like, I did feel really, really sad that me and my friend had the conversation of like what our strategy would be if there was an active shooter at the event.
That's the life that we live now.
That is the life that we live. I was like, you know what? I do think if somebody was stationed on this roof, I would go run into this alley. But if somebody was on that roof, I would go around that corner. And like, you know, basically like my first instinct was to lay down on the ground. But then I was like, oh, I would get trampled. So I needed to get to the grass first to then play dead. And that's where we're at as a country.
Isn't it great? Well, and like, so one more thing I've actually just started putting this in my act, and sometimes it goes well and sometimes it doesn't, but whatever, I don't care. Like, so all these men, and they're all, I don't want to body shame, but they're all a little hefty. We'll go with hefty. And when I was back home, they're all wearing these shirts that say like freedom and they like American flag. And I'm like, bitch, what are you free from? Like, this country sucks ass.
Yeah.
Like, even though you're white and you're male, like, you could still just get freaking gunned down on the street. I'm sure your health care is just horrendous. It's just like, it's weird.
It's a weird vibe.
I've been doing this bit on stage where I'm I feel like it's a very nihilistic bit and it's kind of flippant, but I'm like, I've been joking about like safe spaces, and like I don't know why safe spaces is the through line I'm using for this, but like just the idea of like safety and stuff, and then I'm like, although it's never really safe in America, am I right? And then I just pantomime like, and then I have like a smarter joke after that, but I don't know, it's just like something I constantly think about, like especially like going into like a gay club or a gay space, or like walking the Pride Parade. I remember being like, because a few years ago they caught all these like neo-Nazis going to like who were like planning to do something at like the Chicago Pride Parade, and yeah, especially in gay spaces, I always think about it. Or theaters now, movie theaters.
Yeah, I went to the Barbie movie and I was with someone and I literally turned to her and I said, we will be stuck if there's a shooter.
I almost killed the person next to me at the Barbie movie, though, I will say.
What did they
do?
I
So first off, me and my partner went to see the Barbie movie yesterday. So good.
Iconic.
Very good.
So
very
good.
fun. Love, fun Barbie. Yes. And all of that. And then we were sitting there, and then we did bring like a doll, like a kind of spooky doll that I won at a show at the Laugh Factory a few days ago. Well, really one of the audience members won. We do this thing at Sachet where we like bring like audience members up, and then, or now it's Key Club, and then like they do like a lip sync competition.
Yes.
I've never in my life had it be where nobody even moved a muscle. I mean, nobody moved a muscle. Like they just like all stood like kind of shaking in the back, scared. Like they looked like they were like puppies that you see like in like one
Like
of those
an
like Sarah
ASPCA
McLachlan commercials, like just like crowding in like the back of a cage, like it was. I've never seen people react so poorly to the lip sync thing. And then we gave them all these like boxes to open their prizes, and this one girl got like a doll, and she was like, you know, like I was like, she was so scared by this doll, and I unfortunately just don't. I'm not really there. I don't really get that, and so then I like, she's like, you take the doll, like literally, like you don't get it. Like I'm so scared of dolls. Like you don't get, like literally ask the people I came here with, like you don't get it. I'm so scared of dolls. And then I like came back and I got like my co-producer like Matt, and I'm like Matt, get on the God mic upstairs, and then as I'm saying goodbye, I'm gonna put the mic up to the doll and then have her say goodbye to the person.
maniacal.
Then we brought her to like the Barbie movie, and we like filmed all these things of like us like celebrating and like frolicking to the Barbie movie. And then this guy came up like a little late, which whatever, I don't care about that. But they came up And then he was just on his phone the whole time, and he kept like looking at like people and kind of like judging, and he did not laugh at any of the jokes or cry at any of the scenes. And he just like kept like, I remember crying during this one scene, and like he like kind of like turned like as if like to judge me, and then I like through my tears I was like, and then I kind of like gave a side eye, like just like an angry side eye of like just like, you cannot judge me right now, like this. I think that it just was a boyfriend that she dragged there, but I'm like, girls, don't drag your boyfriend to the Barbie movie if he's not cool enough to do it. Like, don't because I don't want, like, I get that you're used to your shitty boyfriend ruining your experiences, but that doesn't mean that he should have to ruin my experiences.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
Truly.
Like, this is our space. This is the gay and ladies space.
Yeah, for the girls and the gays and the theys.
Yeah, and like, I'm sorry that your masculinity is so fragile, but like, not my problem.
Mm-hmm. Seriously, like if your boyfriend's a GI Joe, leave him the fuck home. That's all I gotta say. Like, if
dump him.
If he's not true, that too. But I'm like, don't. Just I feel like at the Barbie movie, the thing that made me sad is that I was like, I ate an edible and it like was a little bit too much, to the point where like, you know when you get so high that you kind of dissociate. So I didn't really get to have like the deep feeling. I didn't mean to bump the mic. I didn't get to have like the deep feeling experience that I'd hoped to have. I don't know if you saw me, because I was at like a get together with you, and I had an edible, and I was like surrounded by other comedians. The edible kicked in, and I was like, oh, I'm too high. And somebody was like, oh, Jamie, why don't you just like ride the wave? Like, this happens sometimes. Just ride the wave. Just go with the flow. And we had that conversation, and 2 minutes passed, and I was like, no, fuck that. I'm going to go sit in my car until the Barbie movie. Yeah. So I like sat in my car until I was going to the Barbie movie, and then I get to the Barbie movie, and I loved it. I laughed a lot, but it was like the moments that like I knew I was like, I would have, if I was not that stoned and like so stony, you know, just out of hand, I probably would have cried.
I cried.
But I just kind of was like, oh, I'm supposed to feel something right now, which is like so sad. So I think I need to go again, so I have a second chance at like actually being sad. I did cry a little bit when she was walking away from the teenage girls, which is so fun. I didn't notice this until I saw it in a TikTok video. The 4 teens at the table, they're all named after the Bratz dolls, the original Bratz.
Yes, my partner Hunter, they picked up on that immediately.
I didn't pick up on that until the TikToks.
Yeah, they're like that's the 4 Bratz dolls, like
fucking
their names.
Bratz dolls.
Bratz dolls. I didn't get to play with Bratz dolls as a kid.
That was after that was when Bratz came out. I was becoming blossoming into womanhood, so I wasn't in that era.
Yeah,
and I don't think I missed out.
Yeah, I will say I wish I got to play with Bratz dolls, because I was told that they were kind of like too slutty for me to play with. And that's my mom was like, they have like belly piercings.
They did though.
Yeah, I mean,
so
but
cool.
they were cool. They were cool. And then and then the Monster High dolls came out when I was a little too old.
I don't even know what that
Monster
is.
High dolls are like Bratz, but like even like they were like too skinny, where I was like, oh my god. But I also was kind of like, they're kind of cool because they're like Frankenstein, or they're like a vampire, but they're like Bratz dolls. But I remember Barbies. I did play with Barbies a ton, and I would make like little dresses for them out of like plastic bags, or like I would I remember my mom would be like, if you want a Barbie, like I can pretend I'm buying it for somebody else at the checkout as a kid. Because
I realized as an adult how fucked this is, but like me and my next door neighbor, who I will leave nameless for this story out of respect for her privacy of not being associated with this shit we were doing. So we had like our Barbies, we would like pool together to be like, you know, create these massive scenarios, and then we had one Ken, and basically it was a cult. Like, it was basically like the Nexium shit.
Nexium, yeah.
So it was like all the Barbies were in the Ken cult. And then when we both started getting Bratz introduced to our, like, you know, our situation we were doing, the Bratz rescued the Barbies. And it was like very, very sapphic. I'm like That's a word that I'm realizing I've read and never said out loud until this conversation. But yeah, like the Bratz and the Barbies were like kissing each other and like falling in love after the Bratz rescued the Barbies from the evil Ken. So my Barbie land still had toxic masculinity. Like that's what I realized from watching that movie. I was like, oh, even like as the young child age where I was playing, like I still understood from growing up in Indiana that women don't get to run their world, and that's very sad.
My Barbies were
Very dark.
fucking.
They were fucking?
They were fucking.
Well,
Your Barbies
I
were
had
fucking?
older sisters, so I just like was right, and like my sister had, and yeah, those Barbies were doing things.
Yeah.
that I'm not gonna say because for legal reasons.
Some of the things that my Barbies were doing, it was insane, and I would later look back and kind of be like, I was like, is that okay? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like as a kid, you know. I remember too. I had these kind of this group of like Barbies and misfit other toys, and one was like a Lilo the Stitch McDonald's toy, and one was like a Rapunzel McDonald's Barbie toy, but she was like a pen. She wasn't really like an actual doll. And then one was like I got these like Charmed action figures. Charmed.
Charmed.
Yes, it was Alyssa Milano. And then they were like all witches, but they couldn't like they didn't have like all the same powers. Like one of them could like only do magic through wands. And then
You were quite a creative child. I
then
was just
what-
having the Barbie scissor and then moving
I mean,
along
the
with my
Barbies
day.
did scissors, but they were witch scissor sisters. You know what I mean? They were like,
Yes.
one could do wands, one could do potions, one could do spells with like where they spoke. Anyway, they spoke. Yes.
I mean, yeah, we just like saw the Elizabeth Smart situation on the news and just went down a
God.
dark, twisted pipeline.
For
What was the
real.
Elizabeth Smart?
Elizabeth
Oh,
Smart was
see-
the little girl who was kidnapped, and she like developed Stockholm syndrome. Like she felt like connected to her captors. Or I might be confusing. There's like
No, I mean,
and maybe she wanted to get away.
yeah,
but
and
it
then
was
she
like
eventually did.
She did eventually get away. I'm confusing that with like I think that we like had a little like I hate saying cat and mouse situation, but it was like yeah, like we combined like Elizabeth Smart wanting to get away with like there was another situation at the time where it was like these people were kidnapped, and by people I mean women, and like held captive, but like wanted like there's one where it was like the girl was convinced that like the guy had made up this whole fucked backstory and his wife was in on it, and they convinced her that like she was gonna get like hunted by this organization if she left them. Like they convinced her that like she needed to stay there for the safety of like herself and her family, and we like saw this on the like it was a thing where it was just like our parents were just left the news on and we saw
They were
it.
like, just watch this, whatever.
just watch this whatever, and it was like
After 9/11, it was game. It was game
Yeah.
on. They were like, just watch this, whatever, no big deal.
yeah, and it just like really
I remember my mom falling asleep with the ID channel on a few times as a kid, and me seeing some shit that like
Yep.
was insane.
Reprogrammed.
I remember one in particular. I literally cannot repeat on this podcast what the disgusting things that these killers were
ID
doing.
channel.
The ID channel, my mom loved the ID channel. I remember taking my vitamins, pretending I was sick, and watch the ID channel home. That was fun. Although now I don't know. I've been feeling a little guilty about true crime recently.
really
Yeah, having
in
a
what
little.
way?
I recently had an event, and I don't want to go too deep into it, but
Okay.
like where something happened where like somebody that I knew a little casually was in a situation that's a little true crimey, and it kind of just makes you like rethink all of like the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that like I don't necessarily think it's wrong to tell these stories of like these crime situations. I think there's a reason that we all want to hear them, and I think that there's even a value in a lot of in some of the lessons in them and spreading that information. But there's also like a way that it's like glorified and like and
Yeah.
and it kind of reduces people a little bit that like I felt guilty about in hindsight. You know what I
Truly.
mean? Like thinking,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that, and I think it's also been proven that it's just like, and I mean, I feel like this is just so base level obvious, but it's so bad for you mentally to, I think, to consume for entertainment purposes too much true crime stuff. Like that's been proven. I know that like I personally used to listen to or watch at least like an hour a day per like day of the week, and now I've tried to like dial down to like only listening to a podcast or like watching a show a month, just because it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be like make you more paranoid, make you more anxious, which is like can be good because it keeps you out of dangerous situations, but then also it can kind of like desensitize you.
I don't think the problem people have today, though, is like not having enough reasons to be scared to leave the house. Because I think so many people have just like been so like comfortable in their bubbles of like staying inside recently, and I don't know. I'm just like, I just miss the. I've been so like grandpa like anti-phone recently of like phones are evil, you know, they're bad for you, and you know, I've just been feeling the like I miss. I'll also like just post-pandemic, I just feel like everything's too online and there aren't enough opportunities to like see people in person, you know. In like outside of shows or like doing something productive or like spending money or like, you know, I don't know. Yeah,
there's like less opportunities for just like genuine human interaction, enjoying time together, and also I mean like this is a completely different thing, but it's just like there's that idea of like, who am I when I'm not online, when it's just like a whole fucking person who has like hobbies and interests and things going on. Like I think that we've just like, I mean, it's the nature of our country being so capitalistic that we've made it such a thing of like the social currency is like so determined by like what you're doing online that it's like you almost have to take a huge step back from that and disconnect from it to not feel the negative mental health effects.
Yeah.
It really is negative because, like, you know, I've been in Chicago. I think I'm hitting like month 17. So, you know, I came from like Minneapolis where like I always had something to do, and then I moved here and I knew next to no one. And it's like when I'm alone, and I still have these feelings, I will like open my phone and I'll see people doing stuff. And whether that's they're doing comedy stuff that I wish I was doing, or they're hanging out with friends, and I'm like, I just feel like such a loser.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm 30 years old, I'm alone, I'm staying in my apartment, you're a loser. And then I will order Raising Cane's and I'll eat it on my floor and cry. But then, like I said, I'll go back to Iowa and I'm like, never mind, like you're actually doing okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you're not. Yeah, that was really.
I know. I like. Have,
now
like,
I'm
been,
flirty.
Like, I've been like just like. I have been.
I'm like talking about my depressed.
And I've just been like,
keep going. Yeah.
Oh,
I love it.
No, I'm so depressed.
It is. I never realized how phallic these are, but it's.
I'm
but
just
yeah,
so
social
sad.
media is a devil.
Oh my god, my tears are making things so wet. Okay, no, sorry.
No, but like social media is the devil. The one last thing I'll say too is it's like the thing that's the irony and like the moment where I have to take a step back and be humble and have a little humility is probably the people that we're both looking at and going, oh my god, my life's actually going great. They have people they're looking at and they're going, oh my god, my life's actually going great. And we're all just such judgmental little bitches. And when you realize that about yourself and about everybody around you, I think it's just like it's so much like the you know, if you drop acid or you take mushrooms, everybody has that same dumb what they feel is the most unique thought ever of like, oh, we're really all the same, when it's like that's a fucking unoriginal thought. But it is just, yeah, we're all kind of doing the same thing in different ways.
We're all either feeding the beast, whether that's, you know, again, like trying to make a comedy career work, or not feeling like you're at the level that you want to be at, or not feeling like you have enough friends, or, you know, whatever. We're all doing that for the most part. And also nobody's posting their, unless it's like Unhinged, but nobody's posting like their worst days or their worst moments online. Like I'm not posting myself crying alone on my bedroom floor. Like I'm posting, you know, something that I did. And so and if you don't know these people, like you just think that their life is, you know, is Barbie Land and fantastic. And
Yeah.
no one's life is really I mean, some people have been
No.
able to get through life and be great.
Yeah.
But
even those people are having
issues.
Barbie's first day in real world days.
Yeah.
Nothing is Barbie Land. We all just post the best parts of us online. But everybody has dark family secrets. Everybody has that one family reunion where we walk out the room, there's one less person, and we all know to just shut the fuck up about it because the DA's
I'm the
already
person.
looking into us for a bunch of other things. And the thing is, yeah, it sucks in this family. Okay, no one's nice. No one's nice. But it's better than being out there and being one of those poor fucks. Okay, you know. So
okay,
we all
perfect.
have dark family secrets like that. But at the end of the day, we just have to realize that it's okay and no one's gonna tell what happened. So you don't have to worry about it because no one's gonna tell. Everyone
Ever.
knows to shut the fuck up about it, okay, guys?
Also, like, the planet's about to, like, explode.
Yeah,
so
true.
There's
it's fine.
And I'd say, you know, with everything going on in this world, I think it is really important that the listeners at home learn Riley's answers to these 4 questions I have for Riley.
Okay,
And,
let's go.
the first one, I should just look at my notes, but I'm trying to remember from the top of my head. Oh, the first one's fun. What do you feel is your number 1 red flag?
Like with dating or with people or...
I guess you can just, it's open-ended, I guess. Yeah, you could just, what do you think is your red flag?
Have you been dating?
Yes, it's horrible. I think my number 1 red flag is like when people want you to like immediately, like I've had this with dating, like they want you to immediately acquiesce to like what they want, and if you like are busy working or something and then they're just like not interested anymore, it's like I'm not a fucking McDonald's drive-through. Like, I have shit to do. Like,
Yeah.
I've had this many times with dating. I don't know if this is just gay guys. It's like they want to go out and they say, like, what are you doing Tuesday or something? And you'll say, like, oh, sorry. Like, this literally just happened to me. I was like, sometimes at my job, I have to, like, work later in the day
Yeah.
because we have an event. And then, like, it was just, like, never again. And it's like, are we that, like, as a society, are we so used to having everything just that, like, even with dates, we're not willing to wait like a week
to
you
go
know
on
what
a
I
date?
mean?
Yeah, that is, I agree.
that's
That's
a
petty.
definite. That's like the first one that came to my mind. I mean, there's so many. I mean, but yeah, that's definitely one of them where it's just like, can you just like chill?
Yeah.
Like, I'm down to get to know you and like go out. Like, can you just like wait for me to have a free second?
What's the number 1 red flag about you?
About me?
Yeah.
0. No.
No. I mean, I'm sure there is one. I don't know. I think I overanalyze things a lot because I have a horrendous anxiety.
Relatable
And like
content.
I think everyone hates me, and I think yeah, so that's probably my number 1 red flag is like I'm like I literally am like that person hates me. Oh my god, I'm never gonna get booked there again. Oh my god, what did I say? You know?
Yeah.
when it's like, it kind of comes back to like what we were already talking about, which is like, nobody's really thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you.
No, literally, and I've had to be like, Riley, no one gives a fuck about you.
Right,
like,
right.
just do what you can.
Right, but then you have anxiety about no one giving a fuck about
Yes,
you.
and then you're like,
It's like
well,
a
now
fucking-
Yeah, it's like, ugh. Like, I just want people to give fuck about me right amount.
Right now, the wrong amount.
I'm sorry, what?
Right now.
Someone call an ambulance. I think that was stroke.
Okay, Mitch
That was
McConnell.
Mitch McConnell. That was like
Oh
Mitch
my god,
McConnell.
the funniest video of all time.
People are saying
I'm
that
sorry.
he shit his pants.
I hope so.
No, literally, people are saying, and like as someone who's shit their pants before, it's. I believe it. You're in front of
I
cameras. You can't just run. I mean,
normally-
my ass would have just ran away. I'd be like, I shit my
Normally,
pants.
I'm so supportive of people who shit their pants, and I want people to know that. I want you to know out there that most of you can shit your pants. I'll have your back. I'll literally cover up your shit, cover back. But Mitch McConnell, I want
you.
everyone to know that the reason he cannot hold it is because his asshole has been poisoned specifically by the evil that he has spread in the world.
Yes.
Well, and if you think about it, he's literally the reason why we're in this Supreme Court mess because he was in
Yeah.
charge of the Senate and he was the one that was like
Preventing Obama's
Yeah,
nominations.
so he literally like I have no sympathy for him. I have no remorse
Yeah.
for him.
I literally want him to shit his pants, get pantsed so we can all see this shit just rushing down his leg, and all of us just go.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice M&M shit stains. Make me car.
Yeah.
Like
He's
literally.
just a vile.
Yeah,
Like-
vile, trash.
Just nightmare, like you know when you have your worst nightmare of like being like
Yeah.
you're naked at the party and everybody's laughing at you. I want Mitch to fucking feel
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
That's how I.
And I
fucking,
want us to throw things at him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we're like throwing chocolate milk and like tomatoes
Yeah.
and like just
Boo,
by chocolate milk.
tomato,
I meant
tomato.
I
throw
said-
tomato.
yeah. I was gonna say like spoiled chocolate milk, like just rotten food. Like I think just rotting food. So he just
rotten
smells and
Like rotten cafeteria. The cooler broke. Cartons of chocolate
chocolate
of
milk.
2% chocolate. Anything.
just chunky milk and just.
chunky. I'm checking my parking. Don't worry.
That's all good.
I'm worried.
While you're checking your parking,
What's-
and
what-
Beckett's worrying immensely, I do think, just circling back to what Riley said about people not being willing to wait to go on a date or like wait for anything, like you waited for somebody to come back from a war. Like you should be
Yeah.
like your high school crush would go to war and you would just like hang around your hometown for 5 years and wait till he like. That's wild. That we're like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't hang out on Tuesday? Well, fuck
This
yourself.
has literally happened to me. I mean, it's bizarre.
Maybe if you said like, "Hey, I can't hang out Tuesday. I have like a war I have to go to." Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I gotta go figure out this whole Ukraine situation.
Yeah.
But I'll be right back.
I'll try it. I'll let
Maybe
you know
then,
what happened.
yeah, maybe that'll convince them, and then they'll be like, "Oh my god, oh lord,"
And they'll write me notes.
yeah, like, yeah, write you
What a
letters.
big strong man. We do have to do the song in a second, but I did have one more question I wanted to ask you before we
said you
do
had 4 questions.
the song. I said 4. I feel like we're gonna end up doing 2 because of
that's
how
fine.
long we spent on that one. But we're cutting 4 down to 2 because I'm all about being flirty and
Well, I just
furious
extended
today.
my parking, so
So
you owe me some dollars.
how long did you set it for?
I will now have an hour,
Oh my god.
but whatever, it's fine.
We should just do like one long marathon episode with
I'm
Riley.
okay.
That's 500
I'm-
years.
Let's do a Ouija board.
I am not scared of Ouija boards. Maybe that's my darkness.
That is your darkness. You should be. Everyone
not
should be scared of Ouija boards.
boards.
Oh
I'm
my
not scared of
gosh.
Ouija boards either.
Okay, literally, I just went to this bar and nightclub that they were like most top 10
I got my
haunted
tarot
places.
read yesterday. Sorry.
No, I was like, I want to hear about your tarot, but I was gonna say this place is like top 10 most haunted in the country, and I was like you with the Ouija boards, and I was like top 10 most haunted. Huh, I'm not that scared. And then we go down into this basement where they had a well where they did fucking satanic rituals in the 1800s, and like somebody on
hot.
the tour with us was like, oh, my back's burning, and like lifted up his shirt and had like talon claws on his back, and everybody was like, this was like after midnight. So yeah, basically, I think ghosts are real, and I've always thought
I
ghosts
think
were
that was
real, but
just
I do think like demonic spirits must be real too, because I was really scared.
I think that was just a gay that was at Jackhammer the night before, and he just was looking to be the center of attention.
you just want to be the center of attention. Okay, well, that being said, I do
Becca,
want to hear about your
do you
tarot card
agree?
reading, and then we can circle back to the question. But let's hear about your tarot card reading. What did the card say?
I'm not scared of Ouija boards, not because I'm not scared of ghosts, because I welcome the challenge of ghosts. I'm a Ghostbuster in training, and I'm gonna bust them out. And also, yes, to answer your further question, tarot reading cards. I got one yesterday, and it talked about how I have too many fires in the coal burner, and that I could work on that a little bit, and that I might need to focus on some more specific things instead of trying to do so many things. And I'm kind of like, yeah,
Oh, I
there's some
relate to
things
that.
I need to work on. And also they were talking about like this new environment that I'm in, and I just started a new job, and I'm like, what? So maybe that's a ghost. That's
The
what
new
ghosts are, right?
I feel like what if ghosts are just things that you haven't figured out how to overcome yet? What if you keep repeating patterns because that's your ghost? That's your
Wow.
spirit in the closet.
Yeah.
We're out of the closet, but now we need to get our spirits out of the closet.
Yeah. I was in the closet and they had a lot of skeletons in there.
Yeah.
And now I gotta.
You're out of the closet, but you left the skeletons in there.
Yeah.
And the skeletons are going, let us out!
Let us out.
Yeah.
Help.
That's what it is.
Yeah. That is what it is, and that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Wait. What's the third question?
I think we're on the second question.
Wait, have we not even gotten the second question?
I'm so
We haven't done the
interested.
second
What was the second question?
I never asked that. we like, honestly, we should just change this podcast to like the big ADHD because
Yeah.
it's literally like everyone
Here,
listening
let's
is
do
getting
rapid fire. What are the questions?
Okay.
I'm interested.
Okay, rapid fire. Well, I could say all three, but I was gonna just do two. So we're gonna do the second one. We're gonna do the second one, and then we're gonna call it a day.
Okay. Well, okay.
And I'm gonna remember what it was.
I was just curious of what the questions were.
The other questions were gonna be, so we did red flag. We were gonna do you got canceled. Why? We're gonna do what's your ideal dinner party guest. But the question I do want to ask. This is the one I want to ask. Those are the ones we're skipping. This is the one I want to ask.
Okay.
Who is your favorite pop star and why?
Oh, important.
Fuck.
Important. This is important.
Okay. As much as I okay, hold on. I so I was born in 1992, so I was like 6 when Britney Spears came out. So I have a lot of adoration for that.
Yeah.
But, and I think, yes. But if we're going to go, I think I'm going to go with Lady Gaga.
Rain on me.
Because I just think she's extremely talented, and I just like,
It's my girl.
her music came out when I was like in high school, and then Born This Way album came out like that summer I graduated high school going into college. That was obviously like a transitional period for me. And I obviously went to college and was like immediately like, who wants to fuck me in the ass with a dick? And I was just like, it just was a freeing experience that year. I mean, at the same time, I was like crying to Adele 21, even though I'd never been in a serious relationship. That year was a roller coaster, but
Yeah.
it was a fun roller coaster, and I was drunk a lot of it. But I think,
feel like-
Lady Gaga, definitely. I think she's definitely my... By the way, one time I called like United or something because I had like 2 accounts made or something. I needed to merge them into one. And I guess I've set my security question as like my favorite musical artist is Lady Gaga. And the woman goes, who's your favorite musical artist? And I said Lady Gaga. And that bitch laughed at me. And I want to be like, listen up, Janet from United. You are a homophobe. And
Okay, what was hers?
yeah, what's yours? Milli Vanilli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Slut.
So yeah, I killed her. No.
Yeah, I hate her.
Yeah.
I do too.
But yeah, I
honestly.
think that would be my answer.
I think that's a great answer. I mean,
agree.
even you talked about Born This Way album. We're around, I say around the same age. I was also born in 92. I'm going to be 31 in
What year did you graduate
August.
high school?
2011. I graduated high school in
so
2011.
it was like the same experience.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
And I was
Lady
like
Gaga.
18 and I was like,
2017.
I want your
Beautiful.
whiskey mouth all
All
over my blonde south.
Red wine, cheap perfume, and a filthy
pout. As I'm
Where
like,
it's you were in middle school,
yeah. I was in middle school.
which aging ourselves. But no,
so I was like stirring like $10 vodka into a Mountain Dew bottle in my dorm room, like.
oh my god.
But like for realsies, like not gay. I was like really experiencing that in real time.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was pretty cool. Also, sidebar, I went to my parents. I'll do this story really quickly. My parents, I'm the 4th, so they were like, we can't do another graduation. Like, we can't have more potato salad. Like, we're done. Can we just take you somewhere, like on a trip, instead of throwing you a graduation party? And I was like, yeah, sure. I fucking hate everyone I went to high school with anyway.
Yeah.
Mostly. So we went to New York City and we did all the New York things, and we went to Letterman. And the night before, Lady Gaga was on.
No, not the night before.
But our guest was Kevin Bacon, who's
that was good.
very dreamy.
Yeah.
And there was like, so Lady Gaga's from New York City. So like that week the album came out. So
She's
there was
from New
like
York.
stuff everywhere about it. It was just a very gay experience.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I saw Wendy Williams in Chicago on Broadway.
Oh, I went to Chicago. And that's the musical we went to because we were gonna go to Book of Mormon because this would have been like Book of Mormon, but it was like crazy
That was
expensive.
literally yeah.
And mine was my person because they always have a famous person. Mine was Christy Brinkley,
Really?
who's like hot, but she wasn't that good.
I will say
Wendy
my
Williams is not that
my
good,
high
believe it or not.
school.
Was she like, clap if you care?
How you doing? When you're good to mama.
Yeah, because she was matron mama.
How you doing?
Oh my!
Death to all of them.
I
miss her.
Yeah, I miss her too.
I was just gonna say
Moment
that
of silence.
I feel like moment of silence, and then all I was gonna add is that an alumni from my high school has, I think, still is in, and like for a long time was in the ensemble cast for Chicago, and so we got to see Chicago because he got us like free tickets when we went on a choir trip, and then I tricked my choir trip chaperone into taking us to see Next to Normal. She said, "Is this appropriate for high school students?" I said, "Absolutely," because I wanted to see Next to Normal with with the original Broadway cast, and I could just see her face just getting red as the show progressed.
No.
Like 5 minutes in, I was like, "Well, if you didn't know what
Gotcha,
mental illness
bitch.
was, now you do."
Yeah, you don't know. Good time to get informed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
The
ladies.
song.
Now
Okay,
let's
ladies,
get
let's
information.
I'm gonna try to think of like what encapsulates what we talked about today right now.
Okay.
While our beautiful accompanist Becca plays something for us. Thank you, Becca, for hitting it on the keys. And whenever you're ready, you can take it away. And I'll think of something. Every time I'm feeling bad, I just remember there are other people doing much worse than me. Every time I feel bad, I just remember there are other people doing much worse than me.
Every time I feel bad, then I think about all the people suffering around the world. Oh yeah, people have such terrible lives. Some people are school crossing guards, and other people work at 7-Eleven. Not to shame these people, they are just trying, and that's probably the cards that they were dealt. But they have jobs that probably suck to have. Ooh, and it makes me happy, I guess. Because that's what I like to do. I like to think about all the suffering in the world. I like to think about the people who are drowning in the ocean. Ooh, I am not like them. Sorry, guys.
Sorry about the drowning, though.
Sorry, yeah.
That sounds pretty bad way to die.
I'm drinking this cool glass of water. Yeah, I'm gonna stop now because I feel a little guilty.
I just wanted to say, even though I can't afford to go to any concerts, that I'm still loved by my family, maybe even a little bit. But then I go on social media and I see all these people doing well, and I cry on my floor, but then I remember that I'm probably just doing fine. Then I go outside, go to the beach, and I'm hanging with my friends. But then I get sunburned and now my back really hurts. But then I go home and I just repeat the cycle. But it doesn't matter, cause all these people are doing worse than me. Ooh.
Than me.
Ooh, than me, yeah. Ooh, they all suck so much.
Every time I feel bad, I just remember
positive
that other people are doing much worse than me. Every time I feel bad, I just remember there are other people doing much worse than me.
Oh rowboat
Every
with
time
just
I feel
the chain
bad,
in.
I just
Who is the one
remember,
person
like,
that
3 decades
nobody
ago, women couldn't
is
even
doing
have
worse
credit.
than this person because
Every
they're the
time I feel
absolutely
bad,
worst person.
I just
Who is the worst person?
that
Does anybody
not
know
too
the
long
worst
ago,
person?
I
Could
couldn't
it
vote.
be Mitch
Yeah,
McConnell?
every time I
Could it
feel
be
bad,
Mitch McConnell?
I just
He's
remember
doing the worst.
other people
Ooh, shit,
doing
he's
much
worse.
worse than me.
Fuck you,
Every
Mitch
time
McConnell.
I feel bad,
Fuck
I
you,
just
Mitch
remember
McConnell.
that in the 70s they probably would have given me a lobotomy.
Back to me.
Ooh, people say I'm kind of bottomy on the low.
And on the
Bye,
high,
Barbie.
too.
Bye.
Bye, Barbie. Bye, Barbie. Thank you so much, Becca. Yo.
That was beautiful.
That was Riley. You killed that. I loved
I'm a
your verse.
natural.
That was so great.
Yes.
Riley, where can the people listening or watching find you?
So
Online.
on Instagram, I think it's Riley__Cosgrove because this fucking asshole, like 12-year-old in Boston. Well, she's probably 20 now. I've been in like a 10-year battle with her because she has Riley Cosgrove and she stole it from me. And like, I don't want to be mean or cross, but I hope she disappears because I would like that handle back.
But you know, if her account gets deleted, then you don't
But
get
my
it.
TikTok, which I literally am looking right now, I'm such a professional, you guys. It's no big deal. I'm pretty sure it's Riley Cosgrove Comedy. Oh, be quiet. Yeah, Riley Cosgrove Comedy is where people can find me. When I get I try to put clips up. I don't edit them on my own because I'm too lazy and I don't have a lot of time. So I'm waiting for like 5 clips. But
Hell yeah.
we all know that game.
Yes.
But
know
yeah,
that.
that's where
Know
people
that.
can find me. I don't really tweet because I'm waiting for that to like collapse.
Yeah.
And I
Same.
haven't joined Threads yet because I'm scared.
Okay, slay.
sure.
Yeah.
So
love.
Instagram
All
and
fair.
TikTok.
Yeah. Well, we'll have all of that in the show notes. I was burping as I said that. Sorry. And yeah, just thanks for
Yeah,
tuning
thank you
in.
guys so much.
Thank you,
and
Christine. Thank you, the Lincoln Lodge Podcast Studio.
Thank
We'll
you,
see
Becca.
y'all next time.
Bye. Peace. This is the Big Finish at Lincoln Lodge. We're about to get it on the show. So come on, everybody, and get the show on the road.
Let's get it on the road.